3,000 problems. 1, 2, 3,000 problems.
You got problems. She's got problems. Got problems. 3,000.
King, do you know what pop-up is going to teach us about today? Something about 3,000 problems.
Okay. Good morning, class.
Good morning, Papa.
Let me see. Today's lesson is going to be about 3,000 problems and what blacks are faced with. And we're also going to talk about the solution to what we need to do. Okay, the first one of the first problems we got that I feel that's important is the psychological change of slavery. Y'all know what that is?
No.
Well, it's a process that took place during slavery once we came over here. See, one of our biggest problems we have today is, like I said, the psychological change of slavery. When you don't know your history and you don't know where you come from, you don't know where to go and you won't know what to do. And that's one of our problems. That's why we can't work together, because we don't understand our history, we don't understand our culture. All that was taken away from us. So that's something we're going to have to work hard and we're going to have to study on. The next one is following the status quo. This is very important. Following the status quo, meaning white folks. That's what we do. Black people, we are following what white people think and how they see society and how they see the world. So we follow the status quo when in fact, guess what? Why should we follow them? They wasn't around when we was created. They wasn't around when the Creator created us. There was nobody on this planet but black people. Shouldn't we be the teachers of the world? Why are we following somebody that wasn't even around? Who don't even understand the writing on the wall? Don't even understand our ancestors back in ancient Kemet and ancient Egypt. They never understood what the writing on the wall was. They actually took our stories that Africans made and turned it into their stories. They twisted it, they changed it around, they perverted it, and they made a religion out of it. And the reason why they made a religion out of it, they found out that they can control people and conquer people with that religion. And that's where we at to this day. So the reason why I say we shouldn't follow the status quo, because they don't know our Creator. They don't know our way of life. They don't know what our Creator created us to do. So that's something we got to stop doing right there. Stop following the status quo. You got that?
Yes.
Okay. The next problem we got here is loving everybody else before we love ourselves. That's something we really got to work on. What we do here, we welcome everybody in our community to do business, but yet we won't do business with ourselves. Why is that? Why do we welcome everybody else in our community? Everybody. Anybody can come into our community and open up a store and we'll support it. We love them. We call them our brother. We laugh and joke with them. But if a black person opens up a store in the community, we talk about that black person. We don't give them a chance to succeed. So that's something we got to work on too. We got to stop loving everybody else before we love ourselves. You got that, King?
Yes.
Okay, the next thing is not owning anything as a group. What I mean by that, you have a lot of successful black people, but that's individual success. We don't own nothing or manufacture anything as a group. We don't have any imports or exports going out of the country, going around the world. We don't do no business around the world because we don't own nothing. We don't manufacture nothing. We can't sit at the international table of competition. Not until we create imports and exports. That's something we're going to have to work on. We have to bring light industrial back. You know what that means? That means we have to start making things that we can sell around the world. You got that?
Yes.
So that's one of the problems we're going to have to solve. The next problem I got here is jealousy and envy. This is very important right here. Jealousy and envy is a human characteristic. It is. However, it can be used negatively or positive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just because you're jealous of somebody and envious of somebody, doesn't mean you have to tear that person down, talk about that person, and destroy that person. I could be jealous and envious and learn from that person. I could go to that person and say, I like what you're doing. I want to learn. Could you teach me? I could be positive about it. I could work harder because I see this person that worked hard and did well. You see, I could be positive or I could be negative. That's up to the individual. And what I want from y'all, I want y'all to look at jealousy and envy as a human characteristic, but it can be controlled. It's up to the individual if you want to be negative or you want to be positive. So I want y'all to be positive with your friends. When you see that your friends is doing something that you're not able to do at that time, learn from your friends. Ask questions. Ask them, can you join them? There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to tear him down or destroy him or not support him or say you don't like what he's doing. You don't have to be negative. That's the difference between jealousy and envy and being negative and being positive. So what y'all gonna do? You're gonna be positive, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, let's move on. That's just 2 more problems that we have to deal with. For the sake of time of this video, I'm not gonna do exactly 3,000 problems because we got way more than 3,000 problems to deal with. But okay, that's number 5, jealousy and envy. The second one is, the 6th is empty voids. Do you know what empty voids is?
No.
Guess what I learned?
What?
And guess what I hope? I hope that myself, your mother, your father, and everybody that's in your life tried our best not to create an empty void in your life. We're not perfect. We try to do the best we can as parents. And I hope that we didn't create too many empty voids, because when you got an empty void, what people do, you have an empty void, you could fill an empty void with food, drugs, alcohol, sex, attention seeking. There's a lot of ways to fill empty voids. And guess what I found out lately? Lately I found out people are filling empty voids with businesses. They got issues that they haven't dealt with in their life, and now they're using a business to fill that empty void. And they become negative, mean, not caring about nobody, braggadocious, and a lot of other things. That's not the way you deal with an empty void. I know people who walk around because they got a business, they got their pants pulled up to here. They got their chest poked out, and all they do is talk about other black people and how other black people don't have a business, instead of trying to teach them and trying to help them start a business. They want to be on top all the time. You can't halfway have a conversation with them without them talking negative about other black people. And what that is, they have their own issues that they have to deal with, and they're dealing with it the wrong way. You don't fill empty voids. You get rid of empty voids. The only way to make this go away is to confront whatever is bothering you in your childhood or in your life. You must confront it, no matter how bad it hurt, no matter nothing. Confront it, and it will lift off of you forever. Trust me. Never fill your empty voids. Never. Because it won't go away that way. You're only masking this problem right here. But okay, that's just another problem that we have to deal with. I'm going to move on to this right here. This is something I want y'all to remember right here. Never forget this. Listen closely. What you do for yourself depends on what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself depends on what you know about yourself. What you know about yourself depends on what you've been told about yourself. That's important. Who's talking to you? Who's telling you who you are? What's telling you who you are? Society? What's making you think the way you think? And we, all of us, have been told lies about our history and our God. We've been told lies about this ever since we were born. And this stagnates us in life because we're living off of lies that have been told to us. We must learn our history. We must learn our culture. You got that?
Yes.
Okay. The next thing I'm going to go to is, let me see. All right. We're gonna come up with some solutions. Now, we got one more problem I want to talk about. You know, when a person starts a business, any type of business, hair salons, barbershops, home improvement, landscaping, restaurants, retail, any type of business, black business. The reason why our businesses don't succeed, why you think our businesses don't succeed?
Because we're black.
Not because we're black, because we won't work together. It's a simple solution to our business surviving 5 years and beyond and being successful. What our issue is these things right here. The psychological chains of slavery causes us not to work together. Once one of us get a restaurant or get a business, we think we can do it all by ourselves. we're afraid to ask for help. We in competition with the person right next to us instead of being in competition in the whole industry. You should never compete with one individual. Never. And I'll tell you why. Because your brain is an associated organ. It really is. It's fantastic. Your brain is very fantastic. But what your brain will do, because you are competing with one individual, your brain will only give you enough information and intellect to surpass that one person. You will never grow and be able to compete in the industry because you haven't summoned that type of energy from your brain. Just say King had bought a pair of sneakers and you was in competition with him. You would buy 2 pairs of sneakers, but you would never buy a sneaker store of your own because you didn't ask your brain to summon that type of know-how and information to you. And that's where we do a disservice to ourselves. We spend a lot of time as competing as individuals against one another. Now, here's the solution right here. I gave you the problem. Here's the solution to that right there. And this works for all businesses. You ever go into a restaurant, be like your mouth watering for a certain food or something like that, and you go into a soul food restaurant, and you just got your mind set on some yams, some collard green, potato salad, or something like that. I like to have one order of baked fish, potato salad. We don't have no macaroni and cheese. Okay, well, I'll take yam. We don't have no yams. Okay, can I just have a regular fish? We don't have no bread. Why do you think that happened? We walk out of the restaurant mad and talking about how black people didn't have this and didn't have that. It's a reason for everything. I don't do that. You know what I do when I leave the restaurant? Even though my mouth is watering for that food and I'm a little upset that I wasn't able to get it, I still put money in the tip jar. Because see, I understand why they don't have these things. And the reason why they don't have these things because they do a lot of shopping with the middleman. BJ's, Sam Clubs is a middleman. They would never run out of supplies if they learn how to network with other black restaurants. What they should do is get together, call a meeting, schedule one day out of the month where all of them put their money together and buy materials and food and supplies together. Put your money together, you get more. And it's cheaper. If a loaf of bread costs $1 and I get with 5 other restaurants, we're going to buy a skid of loaves of bread. So which costs us 10 cents a loaf. That's something black people need to learn. That's called black economics, and that's what we teaching here. We teaching people to work to black businesses, not just restaurants, but everything, even in my business. We must order our materials together. I'm constantly talking to contractors now. Listen here, man. Let's start ordering once a month. Let's order drywall, skids of it. We'll get it cheaper because we're buying it in bulk. Instead of me going up there by myself, buying what I need, he buying what he needs. It's costing more money, and that's why we run out of supplies. So that's one thing we got to focus on is black economics. Y'all get that?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. The next thing is, again, we gave the 3,000 problems. Now I'm going to give you another solution. The next solution is the black church. It's the black church. Now listen here. How many black churches you think we got in the community or got in this country?
A lot.
A lot of black churches. What if the pastors got together in this city alone or in Plainfield? Just say in that city right there. If they got together and they came to agreement that every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, they would let the community use their parking lots to sell their own food and goods and services in that community. You know how much junk, or you know what they say, you know how much junk they got and people got in the attics, their basements, and their closets that they could bring out and sell? You know what they say, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So people would have merchandise to sell. We got people that know how to cook, they'll be selling food. Why can't the church just allow them to use their parking space, their parking lot, to come out on Saturdays and Sundays and make money within that community? That little bit of money right there can help a lot of people. You make a few $100s every week, extra income every weekend like that. That'll stop some of the killing, some of the jail, and some of everything. And plus, you get to see the children get to work with their parents and see how money and how business is made. That's something the church could do, right? So that's something we need to work on too. That's a solution to some of these problems that we got. But it's these things right here that stagnate us where we can't do that. I don't know why the black pastors haven't came up with that already, but that's something that we need to work on. Now I'm gonna go a little bit even further. Listen to this right here. Now, like I said, we got a lot of churches in this country right here. Some of these churches are considered mega churches now. Mega meaning 20,000, 30,000 people in these churches. So let me tell you something right now. If these black churches and pastors got together, you don't think they make enough money to put together and open up a black bank where they can service the black community, where people will be able to get homeowner loans where we always get denied, business loans where we always get denied, car loans where we always get denied by other banks, school loans where we always get denied. Isn't that a solution to this problem? Can't these churches come together and put their money together, open up one central black bank? Take all the money that they take in from the black community, which they put into other people's bank, take it out and create our own bank. We'll get our own loans there. They will charge interest and they will make money, and the black bank will be successful. Well, you know what? Let's check it out. Let's see. Now here, listen to this right here. This is what I came by. I did a few figures right here. Let me see something. Let me see something here. Okay, I want to see something right here. Look at this right here. I was thinking about this last night. Now listen here. Now remember I said in this country they got what they call mega churches?
Yes.
And some of these mega churches got 20,000, 30,000 members in it. If you had 30,000 members, you had 30,000 members in your church. If each member every Sunday, once out of a week, put in $1. If each member put in $1, how much is that, Derek?
$30,000.
Okay, so we got 30,000 members, and each member pay $1 every Sunday. So we got $30,000, right?
Yes.
And it's 54 weeks in a year. So we got 54 times 30,000 equals 1,620,000. So if each member paid $1, 30,000 members in these mega churches, if each one of them paid $1, we would have $30,000 that Sunday.
Yes.
So you got 54 weeks in a year. So let's just say you got 54 Sundays. So 54 times 30,000 would be 1,620,000. That's in 1 year. Let's do this times 5. 5 years. You do that times 5. So 5 times 1,620,000 is, let me see, I wrote this down, is exactly 8,100,000. 100,000. So in 5 years, the black church could have $8,100,000. And that's just one church right there. But what we know is, what the church do, they don't put $1 in a week. The church asks for 10% of your earnings. So if each member, 30,000 members, put 10% of their earnings into the church, this would go to millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Depending on how many churches, we would reach $1 trillion. So we would have more money than enough to have in our black bank. And we're only dealing with one mega church. How many mega churches are in the United States? So this is a solution to our problem. So why we can't have a black business bank for our community and create a better life for ourselves? It has a lot to do with what I told y'all in the beginning. these 3,000 problems that stop us from being able to do this. So hopefully in y'all generation, y'all will continue to talk to your peers and to your friends about building a black bank and building black economics and teaching black economics to your friends. Y'all promise me y'all gonna do that, because that's something we better do in your generation.
I promise.
Okay, I believe you. All right, the next thing, I got one more thing. It's a fun fact, but it's important. Check this out right here. This is another thing, because this is very important too. I'm gonna call it a fun fact, but it's important. Look at this right here. What is that?
Man cave.
Man cave. Now this is something that we need to address. This is for the men, the black men. The black man never lived in a cave. So if you reverse this word, what is this?
Caveman.
We shouldn't subscribe to this type of thinking. What we should do is, because of the problems that we have in the black family, and we under attack, and we have war, we shouldn't subscribe to this type of thinking. We should create a family room. A family room. That's what we should do. We should never isolate ourselves from our wife and our kids. That's something we shouldn't do. We don't need a man cave. We need a family room. This is a fun fact. So this is something I want everybody that's watching this video just to think about. Y'all got everything I said today?
Yes.
Thank y'all for coming to class. I love y'all. Thanks.
1, 2, 3, down the problems. 1, 2, 3, down the
Problems,
problems.
you got problems, she's got problems, got problems, 3